But it's a very busy time of year for travel. Folks are hitting the road, heading to reunions or maybe vacations. But the roads we travel on every day can also be very dangerous. In 2011, there were 364 deaths on Iowa roads. That same year, 368 people lost their lives in crashes in Minnesota. But the Department of Transportation is taking steps to help make the roads safer for drivers. KIMT News 3's Raquel Hellman has more from Albert Lee in a Covering Communities special report.
We often hear tragic stories of people whose lives are cut short because of an accident on the road. But for those who survive a crash, it's an experience they will never forget.
It was horrible, just simply horrible experience.
This is video from an accident Ann Lufkin and her daughter Maddie were in several years ago. Ann was driving the red car that got struck as it was crossing the highway. Ann and Maddie have since recovered from the physical injuries they suffered from the crash, but they both say the emotional impact never really goes away.
I still suffer from post-traumatic stress syndrome. I no longer have the ability to ride as a passenger in any car.
The place where this crash happened is the intersection of Highway 52 and County Road 9 in Goodhue County. It's one of the spots we're taking a closer look at to find out what's being done to make the road safer. The road can be a dangerous place, and some areas are worse than others. The spot where Highway 52 meets County Road 9 in Goodhue County is considered one of the most problematic intersections in Minnesota.
Eastbound traffic wanting to stay on County Road 9 and cross all 4 lanes of Highway 52 is not making it safely across.
From 2000 to 2010, this spot was the scene of 62 crashes. 7 of those were fatal.
They think they can see all 4 lanes when they can't, and they go right through and are struck by a northbound car.
Now the intersection is the focus of a study being done by MnDOT and the University of Minnesota. These signs have sensors that detect traffic speeds and tell drivers when it is not safe to cross.
When that goes black, then that means there are no cars approaching. The yellow means a car is approaching, coming into your lane. Then it turns red. Right now it's showing red, which is telling the stop driver not to proceed.
Since these signs have been installed, the number of accidents with injuries or property damage has decreased by 50%, but the number of fatal crashes has stayed the same. So MnDOT plans to make more changes to help make this intersection safer.
The first thing we have scheduled for this fall is we are going to add intersection lighting here. There will be 2 lights that light up the intersection at night, so clearly that'll help with visibility in the evenings.
From there, MnDOT plans to extend the turn lanes and add acceleration lanes. And eventually, when there's enough funding, they hope to build an interchange. But for now,
the mistakes that most of the drivers make is they're not yielding in that median and taking that second look. That is what I would advise.
Another road in southern Minnesota known for being prone to crashes is Highway 14 in Rochester.
A lot of people wanted to make left turns off of the highway to get into the neighborhoods where they live, so they'd be slowing down in what essentially was a through lane of traffic, and the person behind, if they're not paying attention, they were rear-ending them.
The solution? Raised medians like this one.
We closed a lot of the side road access points, so they became right in, right out only corners. They can no longer cross the highway.
On the same stretch of road, another issue was increasing. The problem would happen when a green arrow turns into a normal green light, meaning drivers making a left-hand turn must yield.
You can take a left turn on a green ball also, but that's confusing to some motorists. They think they have the right-of-way when in fact they don't.
So MnDOT got creative, changing the green ball into this.
The flashing yellow arrow sends a clearer message to the motorists that they have to yield to oncoming traffic. So the flashing yellow arrow should reduce the number of left turn crashes.
North Iowa is also home to many roads undergoing makeovers, all in the name of safety. One place is the spot where Avenue of the Saints meets T-24.
We had a couple serious, we had some fatal crash out here, and of course anytime you have something like that, you look at it.
The problem was the pavement.
The side road, T-24, came onto the main line at a little bit of an angle.
In order to make this area safer, the Iowa Department of Transportation actually realigned the pavement so that cars turning onto the highway have more visibility.
So it comes at it more at a 90-degree angle on both sides of the road, and it gives people a better opportunity to be able to see vehicles coming from either way and better idea of when they have a big enough gap where they can pull out into traffic.
If you continue east on Avenue of the Saints, you'll run into another area the Iowa DOT has had its eye on for a while. Compared to similar intersections across the state, crash numbers at this spot were just slightly above average.
What we were seeing was the possibility, the potential for severe crashes because this is a high-speed roadway.
So new signs and offset turn lanes were put in.
One of the issues we were seeing here is something called shadowing, and that's where one vehicle hides another one from a vehicle sitting at the intersection. And when you put in an offset right-hand turn lane like that, it removes that vehicle from the main line, it takes it away and gives the people sitting at the intersection a better line of sight.
And it seems to be working. Crashes at this intersection are now slightly below the average. A success story for those who work hard to make the roads a safer place for everyone.
Our number one goal at the DOT is the safety of the drivers. That's our number one goal. Every road we build, repair, expand, safety is the top priority.
Lots of changes being made, but no matter how safe the roads are, there are still going to be accidents. Law enforcement officers say drivers are the reason many crashes occur. They warn against actions like speeding and drinking and driving, but there's another habit that officials say is an increasing problem on the roads.
Texting is a big distraction, but also, I mean, just talking on the cell phone, if you're talking on the phone going down the street, you're sort of preoccupied with the conversation going on, and you're not paying attention to the things that are going on around you.
And of course, law enforcement also reminds drivers to always wear seat belts. Matt?
Thank you, Raquel. The numbers show some good news for area roads, both Iowa and Minnesota. The traffic fatalities from 2011 are the lowest they've been since 1944.